Retweeting, if not done well, can it potentially turn people off? We don't want to make ourselves look bad. How do you control this? Do you centralize the tweets through PR at a firm or practice group leaders? That's a great question. Generally, we find in our organization that we have one person, you're speaking to her, who manages the social networks. And that's just part of my job. Client work is the other part. So it does take time to coordinate. That being said, I have found a number of tools and plugins that allow me to post content in one place and publish it in many, not unlike how a content management system would work. So making sure that you've got, it helps to have a single person because you have a single voice and you have consistency in that voice, and that helps you with your branding and making sure people are getting a clear sense of who you are and who the firm is. So that's helpful. You can also rotate it, and there are a lot of folks who have set up a single corporate account, and they'll say, actually music bands do this, believe it or not. If the band is of 4 members, they'll rotate the tweets around for who's publishing it on any given day to one musician, and they'll say, you know, drummer Billy Bob is tweeting today, and here's what the stuff he's putting out there. It's not unlike what you could do with your own firm. You could say the head of our litigation services division is tweeting on such and such today, or this month, or what have you. And that's a great way for people to not only to give transparency, but also to share the wealth a little bit, and to get more folks in the organization used to using the medium. What application would you recommend to automatically populate your channels? The application you use, actually, you can have a third party that aggregates content from across. I don't choose to do it that way. What I use is the plugins that we have already on LinkedIn. And so, for example, our blog is on WordPress. There's a widget on WordPress that allows you to simply forward your post to Twitter. On LinkedIn, there's a setting there that automatically pulls the blog post from WordPress. For my personal blog, I have Blogger has the same plugins, and it's been really easy. I chose to use the plugins created by that social network because they support it, and using a third party is not necessarily supported. You'll notice that on our Twitter feeds from today's webinar and the previous ones that we used, Hootsuite is another ability. It gives you, it's a tool, a free online tool that allows you to monitor multiple Twitter accounts at once, and that's really simple. How does the company maintain this? It feels like a full-time job. It does not need to be a full-time job. If it is a full-time job, I'd say something is going wrong. And I mean that sincerely. It should not take a ton of time. Because you're able to publish in one place and port it out everywhere through these plugins, which is a simple snippet of code, you don't have to write that code. All you have to do is use whatever software is already, whatever applications or plugins your blog already has, for example, to post the feed out there. It does not need to take a lot of time. Retweeting on Twitter, reading your Twitter feeds. I read mine on my commute in and out of work. That's consistent where we see the most traffic on Twitter, where people are spending the most time is during commuting. They're not on it in the middle of the workday. That makes total sense for when I retweet information. And that's also when people who are reading my tweets will be online as well, so it works really nicely. Tweets are really short. They're 140 characters, so it's not too big a time commitment. Facebook we use simply to post information out there, and LinkedIn as well. So there you're not interacting. Twitter you're interacting. Your blog post, I would say, is the one exception that requires care and feeding. When someone takes the time to comment on your blog post, you owe that person a response within 24 hours or sooner. And that's important because it demonstrates your ability to engage and willingness to engage and to be responsive, and that's really important. If you're automating for your social media strategy, aren't you in effect missing out on opportunities to tailor your message for a particular audience? That's also a very good question. I would say no. Automating your strategy means that when you are pressed for time, so for example, we write a blog and we cover a number of topics on the blog, and we have a number of different authors. We set it up so our Twitter feed posts whatever's new on the blog, but you could conceivably have we don't have an industry vertical here at Greenfield Belzer, but you can conceivably have an industry vertical focused, for example, on healthcare. And you'd have a separate Twitter feed for that, where it'd be whatever your firm name is with the word healthcare in there somehow, whatever that needs to be optimized for. And it would only pull those blog posts that mention the term, that are tagged with the term health. And there's an easy way to plug that in as well. So there's a way to customize your information. How did you use WordPress or Blogger as a platform for blog? How did we choose that platform? That's an excellent question. I did not make that choice here for the firm. Both are free. WordPress does have an option where you can pay to create, to put your blog on there. Both of them are just they're solid platforms with a long standing history of support and being able to offer a number of applications and plugins that make it very flexible. They're some of the largest. They are not by any means, they are not the only ones, and we're not endorsing one over the other. They just happen to be very simple.
They're both very good. This is Berkey. We actually studied them both, and it was not quite a flip of the coin, but we felt that WordPress was a bit of an easier application to run with, easier for you and easier for us.
Great. Well, I appreciate everyone's questions. We had a number of questions come in through this webinar through Twitter and Facebook, so I was pleased to see that, as well as to the GoToMeeting dashboard. This presentation will be uploaded to our YouTube channel, and you can download it and view it. And if you have any questions or would like further information, please feel free to email us.
And we've enjoyed our time with you. I appreciate very much your sharing your time with us. Once again, give us a shout if there are other answers or questions that you have that we might be able to answer. Thank you. Have a great day.